One of the biggest questions for a new investor is which approach actually works better. Some experts point to years of data that seem to show one simple method is best, while others argue that the research isn't that clear. So which path should you take as a beginner, and what are the actual choices? Let's walk through these ideas together, step by step. Many people come to investing thinking it's a strict math problem, where you plug in numbers to get one right answer. But the reality is, investing is much more like learning an art or a craft. Think of it like music. There isn't just one right way to play. A classical pianist and a blues guitarist are both musicians, but their styles, their techniques, and their goals can be very different. They each have their own approach that makes sense for the music they want to create. In the same way, there are different styles of investing. Each one has its own philosophy and method. Before you choose your first investment or pick a fund for your portfolio, it helps to understand these core styles. While there are many specific strategies out there, almost all of them are built on one of two foundational beliefs. You've probably heard the terms active investing and passive investing. This is the central split in how people view the market. These two philosophies have very different views on a key question. Can you, as an individual investor, consistently beat the market? Let's break down what that means. The market here usually refers to the overall performance of thousands of stocks, like what you'd see in a broad index fund. Passive investors believe that trying to pick winners and beat that overall market performance is extremely difficult and expensive over the long run. Their viewpoint is that it's smarter to diversify widely and hold investments for a long time, essentially matching the market's return at a very low cost. They aren't trying to outsmart it, they're choosing to join it for the long-term ride. Active investors, however, operate on a different belief. They think that a stock's price on any given day can be wrong. It might be higher or lower than what the company is actually worth. This belief comes from the idea that investors can be emotional and make irrational decisions, which creates buying and selling opportunities. So, an active investor uses research to try to buy stocks when they're undervalued and sell them when they become overvalued. This difference in thinking leads to very different actions. Imagine two people who both want to buy shares of a great company. A passive investor might buy a slice of that company today through a fund and just hold it. An active investor, after doing their research, might decide the stock is a bit too expensive right now. They would wait, hoping to buy it later at a lower price. If they're right, they get a better deal, but there's a clear risk. The price might never drop and they could miss out entirely. There are clear pros and cons to each path. A major benefit of passive investing is its simplicity and low cost. With less buying, selling, and deep research needed, the fees are much lower, which lets you keep more of your money working for you. However, a passive portfolio rises and falls directly with the market, so you feel the full impact of every downturn. Active strategies aim to protect against those downturns. The goal is to move money around to avoid big losses when the market falls. But this constant attention and analysis is why active management costs more in fees. And paying higher fees makes it that much harder for the strategy to actually deliver better results than the simple low-cost approach. The debate between active and passive is a long-running one. In truth, each can have its moment. Passive strategies tend to do very well in steady, rising markets. Active strategies might find more opportunities when markets are jumpy and volatile, as price swings can create those buying opportunities they look for. The economy naturally goes through both calm and turbulent periods, meaning there will be times when one style has an edge over the other. Beyond the active versus passive choice, there are also different schools of thought on how to pick investments. While there are many detailed methods, we can group them into three main types of analysis. The first is called fundamental analysis. This is like doing a deep health check on a business. An investor looks at a company's financial reports, its products, its leadership team, and its competition. They use all this information to estimate what they think the company is truly worth, then look to buy it when the stock price is lower than that value. This is a very common approach used by many professional fund managers. Critics say that it relies on a lot of personal judgment and that it's hard to be consistently right. The second approach is technical analysis. This style pays little attention to a company's profits or products. Instead, technical investors study charts of a stock's past price and trading volume. They believe that these charts show patterns that can suggest where the price might go next. It's a method based purely on market psychology and historical data. Supporters believe all the important information is already reflected in the price chart. Skeptics question whether past patterns can reliably predict the future. The third method is quantitative analysis. This is a highly mathematical style that uses computers and complex models to find investment opportunities. A quant investor might program a model to scan for stocks that meet a very specific set of statistical criteria. It removes human emotion entirely, relying on data and formulas. The challenge is that markets can change in ways that old models don't anticipate, and creating these systems is incredibly complex. So, we have these three different lenses for looking at investments. Some investors swear by just one, while others mix ideas from each. And within these broad categories, there are even more specific strategies. For instance, a growth investor seeks companies expanding rapidly, while a value investor hunts for solid businesses that seem overlooked and cheap. Some focus only on large, established companies, others on small, upcoming ones. The choices can feel overwhelming, but by starting with the core ideas, active versus passive, and the different types of analysis, you build a framework. This framework helps you make sense of the thousands of funds and investment articles you'll encounter. In time, you'll be able to decide which philosophy fits your own goals, your patience level, and the amount of time you want to spend managing your money. Thank you for joining me today on Invest Easy 101. If this breakdown of investing styles was helpful, please like the video. It really supports the channel. If you're new here and want more straightforward guides to building your wealth, consider subscribing. I'd love to hear your thoughts or questions in the comments below. What investing style makes the most sense to you right now? Until next time, take it easy and invest easy.